What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cool Guy Minecraft. In this video, I'm doing another mod pack review. The mod pack I'm reviewing today is called Enigmatica 6, and I'm going to change it up a little bit from my last format. Since I actually hadn't played this mod pack before, I'm going to be analyzing it on 4 key pillars. First one is adventure, the second one is mining, seeing as how it's a huge part of Minecraft. The third one is creative, the fourth one is combat. Because of this, every mod pack is going to be scored out of 20, so 5 points will be assigned to each, and I can do decimal points and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be my first time trying it this way, so if you guys want to see it done differently, make sure to leave a comment down below. Before we get into the video, I would really appreciate if you guys could scroll down and double check that you click that subscribe button. A lot of people mean to subscribe at the end of watching the video and just forgetting, so it would mean a lot if you could double check. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk about adventure in Enigmatica. So let's talk about things to explore. Now, the simple things are just additional biomes and additional nature and things you can explore, and this mod pack has that. One thing I did notice while I was going around, and keep in mind that I didn't really explore biomes all that much, was that things seemed pretty sparse. There weren't a lot of big forests. I did find one near the end, but even still, I didn't come across a lot. And I don't know if I would necessarily say that's bad. It's just different. Usually there's a lot of forests. Now let's talk about the cool stuff. Now, immediately I came across the bones of some extremely large animal in the desert, which, I mean, even just from an aesthetic point of view, that's an amazing thing to see. But there's emeralds inside and things like that. It was so incredible to see that. Then I came across a village, and this wasn't just any normal village. It was like an actual city. It was massive. Things were built up. There's villagers everywhere. There was engineering, farming places. There's a cool blacksmith. It was incredible. I wish they would do this in regular Minecraft because it just makes villages just seem so much cooler. After that, I ended up finding 2 different dungeon type things. One was a combat tower, where as you got up, it increased in difficulty. And then the second thing was this massive dungeon to explore that had all kinds of loot and different things to kill. Keep in mind, I only played this for about 2 hours, so I'm sure that there's a lot more to see and do, but even from what I saw, I'm extremely impressed. Let's talk about how it makes adventuring better. So they have a map on the top right, as you can see, and it makes exploring a lot easier because you can see where you've been, and I've always liked that. Some people might not like that, but I personally do. On top of that, they have player-focused chests, where if you open the chest, it will turn a different color to show that you have opened it before. And I'm pretty sure that the loot is particular to each player. So if you're playing with your friends, you can loot a chest, and your friend can loot a chest, and you guys can both get separate things. And this kind of goes into combat as well, but there's death markers, so when you die in some crazy dungeon, it'll tell you where to go. One thing I did struggle with was once I started dying to a number of things, there's these stupid markers all over the map, and it took me some research to figure out how to get rid of them. I honestly, as I'm recording this, I can't even remember what it was, but if you run into the same problem, you can YouTube it and there's a solution. Honestly, I have to give this top marks. I'm going to give it a 4.8. Simply because I was kind of annoyed with having to search up with the death markers. But honestly, I don't see how you can get much better from an adventure perspective. And I haven't even explored the nether in the end. Now let's talk about mining. My score is kind of mixed in a little bit with adventure. Mining is an experience. It's kind of spelunking in general. So within Enigmatica 6, there's a bunch of different new ores you can mine that you can use for various engineering and different armors and things like that. Additionally, though, it has all of the cave updates that Valhelsia had, where there's little underground camps, there's additional things to kill, the extra dungeons, and so just the whole mining experience is a lot more exciting because you can come across a lot of different things. A little bit later in the video, I'm going to be going over a lot of the different creative blocks, but at the same time, as I'm scrolling through, you'll see so many different armors and things that you can craft with all of the different materials. I haven't really got into engineering all that much, but I'm assuming based on how many ores are available for it that it's pretty complex, and having to go find those different ores for all of those different engineering things would actually be kind of fun. However, where it is lacking is there's not a lot of different high-end ores and gemstones and things that you can find like you could in Valhelsia. There's no amethyst, no moonstone that make really nice armor. And so, you know, it's more kind of like a chore. It's still a fun chore, but it's not as exciting as like finding, you know, Moonstone and knowing that you're going to have a great set of armor. Because of this, I'm going to give Enigmatica a mining score of 3.2. All right, now let's get into creative. This is something that Enigmatica does exceptionally. As you can see, I'm scrolling through and there's like 50 pages of creative blocks. And not only are there a bunch of different wood types that provide a bunch of different shades for your buildings, but there's also things like roofs and shelves and various things like that that just make the interior design and the creative aspect of building a house so much cooler. On top of that, this is generally where I want to be including engineering, and some of the stuff I came across seemed pretty cool. Again, I don't really do engineering stuff all that often, but Enigmatica makes me want to try it out for sure. The amount of different styles and looks you could do with these building materials just make it seem like this is just such a fantastic mod pack for that kind of stuff. Because of this, I'm giving Enigmatica a 4.5 out of 5 for creative. Now the last category is combat. Now this one's pretty straightforward. Is the combat in Enigmatica 6 different from the combat in regular Minecraft? Whether that's things to fight, different ways to combat things, different armor sets, and things like that. So first and foremost, there's a lot of different things to fight. There's actually even named mobs that require a special tactic in order to face them. The only problem with these named mobs is that you don't really know that they're special until they one-shot you randomly. Take this particular instance at night. I noticed this mob had a name, and I went up and fought him, and I got one shot. Now that goes into one of the benefits to combat in this game. When you die, you can actually just go and pick up your stuff from a gravestone, and it's actually marked on the map. So the combat side of things, especially if you're fighting these named mobs, pretty fun. Now this is something we talked about a little bit before in mining. There's definitely different ores that you can make different armors from. So when you're talking about different things to fight with, different armor sets and things like that, you have a few other options. Additionally, there's different places to fight. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there's these combat towers that I came across that had different mob difficulties as you went up the tower. And there's various difficulty mobs in the dungeons that I explored as well. Something else that I noticed in the towers was that there was these magic books. I didn't actually use them, but I'm assuming that there's magic available in this mod pack as well. And that provides definitely different avenues to combat things. Now, I didn't explore the Nether in the end, but I'm assuming that there's probably going to be other things to fight there as well, which would make it pretty fun. So I'm going to give Enigmatica a 3.9 out of 5 for combat. So there you have it. There's Enigmatica in a nutshell. With all those scores added up, it brings the total to 16.4 out of 20. Now, I have no idea if that's good because this is the first time I'm going to be doing this with this scoring system, but honestly, I had a lot of fun playing this mod pack. If you guys are into adventuring and being creative, then this is definitely a mod pack to consider. I apologize for the scuffness of this video. I'm still working out the kinks and how I'm going to start recording these things. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this format or if you want to see something different. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your adventures in Minecraft, and I'll see you in the next video.